Hello and welcome to the Consistory of the Coelc YouTube channel. I'm your host for this video, Reverend Zabel of the St. John's Evangelical Lutheran Church located in Dalby, Queensland, Australia. On this video, we're going to be continuing my mini-series on Angelology by going through my book that I wrote, Choirs of Angels, a brief study on the kinds of angels. So in my previous videos, we've discussed the traditional 9 choirs of angels as interpreted by the Western Church. So there is no definitive number given in Scripture as to how many different types or choirs of angels there are. All we know from the Bible is that there are different types of angels, and there are different types mentioned, such as your normal messenger angels, your archangels, your cherubim, your seraphim, your wheels or omphanim, the powers, the principalities, the thrones, the virtues, the dominions. And so historically the Church Catholic has interpreted there to be 9 choirs of angels. However, in the Catholic Church they have combined the wheels or ophonym of the Old Testament with the thrones mentioned in Paul's letters in the New Testament into a single choir. I personally don't see why they should combine them into a single choir, and so I'm happy to believe that there are 10 choirs of angels mentioned in the scriptures. Different church fathers have actually held to different traditions on this. So within the church fathers, there was not necessarily always an agreement as to how many choirs of angels there were. In the 300s AD, St. Ambrose of Milan first put forth this interpretation of 9 choirs of angels. In the 400s, there was a work called On the Celestial Hierarchy, which was written by Pseudo-Dionysius. That is, somebody claiming to be Dionysius the Areopagite, a convert of St. Paul, mentioned in Acts 15:34. However, most people deny that it was actually written by Dionysius the Areopagite, and that it was actually written by some theologian in the 400s just claiming to be Dionysius, or claiming that it was written by Dionysius to try and give some credibility to their work. In the 500s, Pope Gregory the Great basically adopted the division of 9 choirs of angels as the official position of the Western Church. St. John of Damascus in the 700s and St. Thomas Aquinas in the 1200s also held to this position that there are 9 choirs of angels. There were, however, some church fathers that held to different numberings. For example, the famous church father, St. Jerome, in the 300s disagreed with St. Ambrose of Milan, and St. Jerome held that there were only 7 choirs of angels, that there were the seraphim, the cherubim, the powers, the dominions, the thrones or omphanim, the archangels, and the angels. Here, Jerome's argument largely depends on the fact that 7 is a holy number. There is also then the Apostolic Constitution, a writing from the 300s, which had 11 choirs of angels. And then if you include humans, this then makes 12 servants of God, and would then therefore be the completion of a holy number, the holy number 12. So 11 choirs of angels, and then humanity as kind of the 12th choir. And so in this Apostolic Constitution, it lists the seraphim, the cherubim, the eons and ages, the hosts, the powers and virtues, the authorities, the principalities, the dominions, the thrones or omphanim, the archangels, and the angels. And so over these next few videos, I'm going to discuss the eons and the hosts, which were 2 choirs of angels mentioned in the Apostolic Constitution, but not traditionally held outside of this writing. So we begin by discussing the eons, or the ages. Regarding the eons, the Apostolic Constitution considered them to be one of the 11 choirs of angels. Aeons is just the Latin form of the Greek word aeons, meaning age. In Greek philosophy and later Christian Gnosticism, the eons were personified as spiritual beings. However, in the New Testament, the term eon is never used in reference to spiritual beings, but is used in reference to time. And no Christian scholar outside of the Apostolic Constitution ever considered eons to be a distinct kind of angel. If they existed, we could assume that they were like angels of time and that they had something to do with the flow of time. However, I'm going to go with the kind of majority historical position and not believe that there are a type of angels known as eons. And the main reason I don't believe that there is an angelic choir called eons that have special time powers is mostly to do with the fact that they're never mentioned in Scripture. So if you open the Scriptures, you can find references to angels, archangels, cherubim, seraphim, wheels or ophanim, to thrones, to powers, to principalities, dominions, and virtues. They're all mentioned in Scripture. There is no passage in Scripture that refers to these angelic beings called eons or ages. So, for that reason alone, I don't believe that there is a choir of angels known as eons. So, that wraps up this video. Join us again next time when we're going to discuss the choir of hosts, which is also mentioned in the Apostolic Constitution. I've been your host, Reverend Zabel. Goodbye and God bless.